Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Descent into Madness podcast, where today we're going to talk about some random shit, and you're going to listen to some random shit, and Michael's going to tell us a cheese fact. You know, same old, same old.
Cheese facts are good. Just like cheese is good.
Wow, that was a pretty short cheese fact.
Oh, that's not the cheese fact. No. You know, I love cheese so much that I dream about it. Think about it. I eat it. You know, the only acceptable death in this world is death by constipation from cheese, and I know one cheese that would be hard to digest because it's the hardest cheese in the world. It comes from Nepal. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, but I guess I can. It's chirpy. The hard cheese made from, I think, yak milk. The world's hardest cheese. Another reason to visit Nepal.
Not only because it sounds like nipple, but it has hard cheese.
Yeah, chirpy. The world's hardest cheese from Nepal. If I could ever get my fucking hands on it, you better bet I'd eat it. And another interesting thing, I guess, is that they make it in like large blocks, but then they cut it into smaller like portions of that, and then they dry it from that. No, well, most cheeses are like in a wheel shape, not like a block shape. But that one they make in a block shape, and then they slice it, and then they hang it up to dry, and that's how it hardens.
Crunchy cheese.
Would you like a crunchy bite of my cheese?
Just say when.
Say what?
All right.
About cheese. I have a video on the cheese if you want it.
No, I'm good. I think I'll take your word for it.
You said you want a video on the cheese?
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, you're gonna get one. I don't know why you're thinking you're getting out of this.
So,
the cheese comes for us all.
I want to talk about one thing. For sure. I want to talk about
Raid Shadow Legends?
God, no. The decline of Netflix just getting absolutely pummeled these last 2 months, dropping significant sales. And I want to talk about what they're doing, why we think that's happening. And because it seems like they just have an insatiable urge to fund the absolute shit movies and TV shows and just have one or two decent / good ones in there. But otherwise it's just complete fucking ass. And then they'll add movies that everyone wants to see and then remove them in 30 days. Then now they're talking about, to remedy it, doing a cheaper subscription. And it's just theorized, nothing has come out about pricing yet, of being $4.99 a month, but knowing Netflix, it'll probably be $12.99 a month for ad breaks like Hulu has.
And that's with the subscription?
Yeah, that's the lowest. They're going to add a new tier of subscription, because right now I think it's $25 for a single screen, because it gets more expensive the more devices you have signed on it.
That's not worth it. Not at all.
I think it's $25 right now per not per screen, but for one screen. And then I don't know exactly the pricing as it goes up from there as you add more devices, but that's Netflix as you know it. They're planning on adding a tier that's cheaper than $25, having ads on it, and justifying the cheaper price. But my thing is, because, and they've said nothing about what the price is, but Netflix has always been super overpriced, because it used to be a total monopoly. They used to be the king streamer. But they're they're just kind of losing it now, and they have been so overpriced for such a long time. Like HBO Max, just put this in perspective. We'll take away, I mean, even both of them have TV shows on it, but like we'll focus on the movies, at least movie portion of it, because that's what Netflix started out as, and that's what HBO Max specializes in. HBO Max for $13.99 a month alone, or you can get it like bundled with like something else and make it like $15, and I think you get ESPN Plus with it, something like that. You get almost every new Warner Brothers. There's like a whole bunch of movie studios. I can't remember all of them. I think Sony has partnered with them, but you get a ton of brand new movies the day they hit theaters, hitting HBO Max, or at least 30 days after they hit HBO Max, completely for free.
Yeah. That's how we watched Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, it's because that came out day of on. Now, the only reason they're starting to do like 30 days is because the main thing was they're doing that for COVID. Like, and then they stopped doing it.
Sense.
They stopped doing it because they were doing it for free, where Disney Plus is charging the same amount for the streaming service, but like would come out with Black Widow day one, and it would cost like $30 to rent it to see it on day one, or you had like a 60-day grace period before it just went free on the service for just paying for the subscription. Now, contrasting that to Netflix, that gets no new movies, like hardly anything that isn't several years old, unless they created it on their platform. Stuff that a lot of people don't even fucking want, let's be frank. Almost double the subscription amount with a screen cap, where HBO Max does not care. As far as everything we've seen, because we've shared our account around to like, I think it's on almost 10 different devices at this point, never gotten flagged or anything. Or same with Disney Plus. It's so I want to know where the hell Netflix is getting their chops from, thinking they can do all this stuff. And I think that's why they're getting scared, is because that's just HBO Max. Like, and we have Paramount Plus, which is $5 a month for the cheaper ads tier, which doesn't have a lot of ads, honestly. It's a very little amount. That does kind of the same thing as HBO Max. Same with Discovery Plus. Discovery Plus for like $7 a month gets you no ads and a ton of television. They don't do a lot of movies, but you get a ton of television. And what does Netflix have? Nothing.
Honestly, Netflix over the past few years has just their quality of their content has declined severely.
It's like Netflix
Really bad.
themselves cannot.
It's not
make
really
good
worth
content.
getting.
The only reason I have it is because I mooch off my older brother. But they do, and like my issue is like for absolutely berating them, and it makes me scared because they're going so downhill, is because they have like 3 of my current favorite shows on there. The Dragon Prince, Dota Dragon's Blood, and then hopefully they said they're supposed to get Better Call Saul season 6. Supposedly. Supposedly. It took them a year to get season 5 after season 5 came out. So we'll have to see on that. But it's like I have those 3 shows on there that I like. And, you know, Netflix is all right for going back and seeing a lot of older stuff, like older shows. But also, everyone is kind of being shown that the binging, like the content dump, is no longer working for Netflix's favor anymore. Because, like, and I was watching, I think it was Critical's video, or it was Mudahart. I don't remember whose video I was watching, but he brought up Arcane versus Stranger Things. And like he was talking about how when both the shows came out. Stranger Things dumped season 3 all out at once. And everyone talked about it quite a bit and was super excited for it for about a week. And then everyone was kind of like, okay, let's stop talking about it, because then there's people that haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. There's people that finished it the night it came out and everything. Whereas I didn't even know this because I started watching it so late. Then League of Legends Arcane apparently came out episodically every week, with a new episode every week. And that show stayed relevant during its entire runtime. Obviously, it's been wrapped up with season 1 since like January. So it's kind of fallen out in the huge relativity sphere. But it's still talked about quite a bit for it being over for a couple of months now. So what do you guys think about it? That, like, is Netflix just totally shooting themselves in the foot?
Netflix is killing themselves, to be honest.
Like, I don't even know
Apart
what you
from
have to
what
do
they already have, a lot of their new releases are all ass. All of these Netflix originals are just garbage.
The only...
I mean, it's even become a joke with Netflix that their adaptations of things are
Netflix
terrible.
adaptations.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, these movies are all just bad. Looking down the list of them, there's a handful that you look at and go like, oh, like there's a David Spade comedy special. And then an Oprah special event. And then
Amy
a movie
Schumer
called
comedy.
He's Expecting, which is a dude gets pregnant. And that's in the top, that's in the new releases. That's not even the rest of what Netflix has made over the past. Like, Is It Cake, the TV show?
Yeah. The only time Netflix has even had semi-decent original movies is so far. I have not really found one with Ryan Reynolds that is so atrociously bad that it's like, the standard. Yeah, that's a Netflix show. So far, all of Ryan Reynolds is good, but Ryan Reynolds is such a comedic genius that he can carry an entire show by himself.
Yeah, for sure.
The most recent one I watched was The Adam Project, and that one was received very well. But then also, and I don't know if, I think you guys said, because we talked about it last podcast, you said you haven't seen it yet. The newest animation show on Netflix, original at least, as far as I know, the Mitchells versus the Machines. Absolute fantastic show. Loved that show to pieces. Has some of the most fun animation I've seen in a really long time. Just a 10 out of 10 show. And they drop absolute bangers like that. And then just total slop. There is this show. There's like 3 shows that are almost copy and paste of each other. And it's always about a weed shop. And I don't remember what it's called, but it's got some funky, stupid ass name. That's a play on words of something like it's some sort of like smoking pun is what it ends up being. I don't remember exactly what it is, but my ex-girlfriend fucking loved the show because, I mean, anything to do with weed was just the fucking coolest thing ever to her, because that's edgy. Daddy wouldn't like me to do the weed, so that's all my personality's going to be. But she sat there, was telling me about how fucking funny this show was. I'm like, okay, I'm down for a new comedy sitcom, especially because sitcoms nowadays are made with such a era or aura of self-awareness that they know they're shitty, but they're doing that on purpose. But this one was not that. This was one of like, I am fucking, like, the show
Taking itself too serious.
Yeah, the show had an aura about it. And I don't know how to explain it, because it's not like they straight up, like, the director went on set, looked at the camera and said, yeah, my show is the bee's fucking knees and it's hilarious. You should watch it.
The bees.
But yet it felt
knees.
like the entire, 3 episodes that I pained myself to watch through was like that. I mean, just, it had the dumbest shit, and she's laughing her fucking ass off. And after 3 episodes, I'm like, dude, this is fucking stupid. This is awfully stupid. The funniest thing, now I'm not even kidding, the funniest thing in this whole show, and the only thing I can remember about this show, is the only thing that made me sort of laugh, and it was a minor chuckle at best. It was like okay.
One of the exhales from the nose.
A little bit more than that, but right around that same tier. The guy walked in and took such a big hit. He was talking this big shit, said he could handle this stuff. That was like the premium gas. Took a big hit and then coughed so hard he passed out and face planted into the fucking glass cabinet and broke it. That kind of made me do that little chuckle because it's just slapstick. It's like, that wasn't a joke. Yeah. That wasn't anything. That was just me laughing at someone getting hurt. It's like, that's just slapstick. And that basically, that entire show emanates everything that a Netflix original show shows you. And then you have and I realize it's everything that's made by the Netflix studio. There's a difference between Netflix making the show and Netflix publishing the show.
Yeah.
Like, because Chris and I, my favorite cartoon series of recent time, at least, Chris really likes it. I know, The Dragon Prince. One I keep thinking of. That's a Netflix original, but it's produced by the people that made Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it's made by different people than Netflix, but it's published by Netflix. So it's not going to be on any other platform. It's only going to be on Netflix, but it's not made by Netflix. And coincidentally, that show's really good. So, Netflix, you're 0 for like 69 here. Let's step it up.
Yeah, 1 for 69. Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to make their own Fast and the Furious movie or series of one.
I hope they do.
One that, I mean, not even like one. I'm not talking about just a Fast and the Furious ripoff. I'm talking about a series that has no right having as many sequels as what it does, but they keep producing sequels.
I think what all their shows are. They already do that. They shouldn't have gotten sequels. They shouldn't have been aired in the first place.
I didn't know some of the shows got sequels.
Well, like seasons, multiple seasons.
Oh, true. That's right. Everything now is done in parts and books in seasons. Like, they have this. And then you end up having these shows that could be a movie. And like some of them could be a good movie. Because if you cut out all the bullshit filler, because it's like 5-hour-long episodes each season, 2 seasons. If you cut out all the filler bullshit and condense it into an 1.5 to 2 hour movie, it could be a banging movie. Is what a lot of shows I find, somewhat newer shows, are like. Like, dude, you have the grounds, and some of the ideas are good, but the execution is like giving a freaking drill to a monkey and telling him to go hammer a hole. Instructions
like, yeah, it'll get done, but it'll be a dog shit hole. Yeah.
Instructions are
You might have more than one as well.
Yeah.
The instructions are unclear. The direction is unclear of where you're trying to end. And then you have the complete wrong set of tools. I made
nachos.
Yeah, the complete wrong set of tools for the job. It is like showing up to a house to build it with a fucking thing of marshmallows because you're going to light the goddamn frame on fire and make a campfire.
Yay.
And then talk about how you built this amazing house and give yourself a 10 out of 10 rating.
That makes me think of a new way to mess with people. If you go and tell them to weld 2x4s together, just watch as they try to figure it out.
I think that would only work for like sophomores in high school.
You would be surprised.
Okay, but anyone that has some amount of decent average human intelligence would be able to look at you like, doesn't quite work.
Well, I don't know. Cause
you feel like we have basic human intelligence.
Say, if we told Jesse to weld 2x4s together, do you think he'd understand what I was asking him? Because I know you have at least some background knowledge. But take someone like her who has 0 background knowledge, and I want to see what would happen.
I'm stuck on the welding 2x4s together.
See, to me, that just means, he used the wrong word. He wants these together.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that means.
That was just really funny. That was a great example. I loved it. I'm just sitting here like, ooh.
Okay, well, we got Chris, so we know what he would do.
It was funny.
He'd sit there with a fucking stick going, Yeah, why
rubbing
smart.
it, trying to friction weld them together, rubbing them really hard until they just stuck.
Just sitting there, you going so fast, the sap from the fucking like
Yeah, from the inside of the wood just
create a glue. You know, it's like one of those things. It's you use the wrong formula, but you got the right answer.
yeah. Show your work. You really don't want me to.
Trust me, you'd rather I didn't.
You'd rather I didn't.
I don't get why showing your work was such a important fucking thing in school. What does it matter if you got the right answer?
I asked a teacher once why I had to write my work down, because I was a stickler about not writing it down. And she said, like, oh, well, it's so that we can make sure you know what you're doing. And I would say, like, well, I always get the right answer, so why do I have to write the work down? Because this teacher had failed me on a question because I didn't write my work down. And she ended up telling me it's so that the district knows that we know how to get to the answer. But if I get the fucking answer, then obviously I know how to get the right
that argument.
answer.
I've had multiple of those arguments as well with teachers over the years. And it is a paradoxical argument that none of them ever favor showing.
I actually had a good answer. I had a teacher give a good answer.
What was the answer?
For why they did it. Was if students were getting the answer. Now, this only applies, obviously, if a student is getting the answer incorrect. But it's really easy to help that student figure out what they're doing wrong when you can see them, how they went through the problem. Because without that, they just have the answer. The answer was 14, but they got 18, and you just don't know why.
See,
That's
that
the
is
only
a good
way
I can see it helping.
See, that's good. I can see that, but my issue is that I think they should just leave. Because to me, not showing your work means you understand, and especially if you get the right answer. Obviously, it completely nullifies if you get the wrong fucking answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you are able to get the answer without writing it down on paper, that shows you have such a decent enough and advanced understanding of that concept. You're able to do it in your head if you didn't have to write it down anywhere. And if you got the right answer,
it also
I think
depends if you
should
can
just
do
be
it
done.
consistently. If you can consistently get the right answer without
Yeah, but
writing
I mean,
anything
you saw
down.
fucking math tests, especially because we were on the bleeding edge of old school Common Core. So at least I was. I think your guys' year changed a bit. Some of the Common Core got changed. Mine was all the super old school. Like you'd be taking a test and see copyright 2003 on there, and
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, ours was still pretty old.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think it was
figured yours was
2003
too.
old,
My
but it
little
was like
brother's
maybe
It's-
2006.
It was the
2012.
ones below us.
Yeah, it was my little, that was my little brother's
got
year.
that,
My little
yeah.
brother's year. It all changed.
It's all like
changed.
standards based now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
1
all-
through 4.
Yeah, it's 1 through 4. Like, dude, they're
Oh my
doing like I
God.
think they're doing almost elementary grading, like needs, meets, exceeds, and
Yeah, they talked about changing that. Yeah, because that was when we were juniors and you were a senior. That they were like coming out to us and they were saying like, "Hey, this is what
I
we're going
remember
to implement."
talking about it my senior year, but of course it was my senior year, so I'm like, well, fuck you, I
Yeah.
don't care.
Because it wouldn't affect you.
Standards based 1 through 4 works for like gym class.
Yeah,
And it was all right in
And-
elementary school.
Yeah, for simple things.
look,
But
there's
Oh my
there's
God.
3 grading scales that you need for a fucking gym class: obese, athletic, and moderate.
You know
Like-
what? No,
just your report card just has an O on it. What does this mean? You don't want to. I don't want to talk about it.
What?
but no,
you know
no, no,
what?
no.
4,
Michael
morbidly
actually
obese.
said-
the F minus.
Michael actually said a fantastic idea though, because I am a fat man. I
am a fat man.
I am a fat man.
I am also
And
a fat
I
man.
remember getting F's in the beginning and the end of gym class every year, not for lack of trying. I tried harder in all the classes, all the gym classes all the time. I never sat out unless I was super sick, but then I'd just walk. Never did any of that shit. I always participated 100% of the time. But because I couldn't get for being 6'2" and in senior year, or junior year, because that was my last gym class, because I couldn't get a 48 on the pacer test, I got a 34, And instead of getting 78 on the push-up test, I got 42, something like that. I got an F. Because they're great, like their scales are for these absolute slim bean dudes. Like there's this kid above me, his name was Trey, and he was he was a basketball legend. His kid was slim, even though he was 6'9", weighed like 130 pounds. Like this.
Trey, what was his fucking?
I'm not saying his last name. I know his last name, but I'm not saying his last name on the podcast.
No, text it to me. I'm pretty sure I worked for when I was working at the shoe store. I'm pretty sure his mom was my manager.
Tall and glasses? Like he had the glasses, like always short curly hair?
Yes. Kane knows his mom. Yeah, Kane knows his mom well.
He worked with me for a bit. He worked at the store.
Oh, he's a dope dude. I love Trey.
Yeah, dude was like, I could have sworn, like,
you're like 15 foot tall, right? I think he did have a basketball scholarship, but I think he got in some trouble and lost.
Oh, is that the super skinny kid?
Yeah.
That was like fucking 7 foot, like the Skinny Shack.
Skinny Shack, yeah, that's Trey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've never met the kid. I just knew he
super nice guy, absolute legend. Me and him were good friends in Spanish class. But like he was in my gym class and he sat there and maxed out the CD without breaking a sweat. I'm like, dude, you do realize that he is running with fucking a quarter of the weight that I'm running with? I'm like, I'm like shorter than him by quite a bit, but I'm still 6'2". I'm still taller than most of this fucking class. And you're going to give me a fucking F? I get the same grade as the fucking 2 girls over there and the 5 dudes that literally like got out on the second lap because they didn't want to do it. They just walked away. I get the same grade as that because I got like 33 instead of like 48, something like that. Dude, that
was the good part though, is those weren't weighted very heavily at all. Well, so like I still had an A in gym, even though I failed. It was all right near the end
of the term, but the beginning of the term, that's your first grade. So then
at first it was like you have an F in gym. I have an F in gym because they're assholes.
Yeah, and then they don't grade.
Like, no, you see, the one thing that I was really good at was the the sit and reach. I was a pro at this.
I know, me too. I was always amazing.
It was always funnier to me still because like you had these skinny kids that couldn't reach near as far as I could, and I've got this fucking basically I'm wearing like 6 fanny packs in one on the front of me.
Because compared to your height and body size, you have ape arms. You have a rather large wingspan.
Ape arms.
I have a really small torso and then long legs and moderately long arms.
I'm pretty sure from like you just getting your gut, you like broke out some of your ribs that just got dissolved into your body.
I removed them so that I could fit more cheese.
Stop bringing it full circle to cheese.
Sacrifices made in the heat of passion.
Fit more cheese now. I'm efficient.
Efficiency.
It's efficiency. I enchanted my stomach with efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3. Give me more cheese. I can eat it faster and eat it more.
I have 20 constitution, motherfucker.
I mean, that was the worst thing about like all of those tests was especially the grading scale comparison. Because for the girls it was like 60 was an A. Whereas for the guys, it was 80. And by the time you're at 80, you have to be like full dead sprint to get to the other side.
Yeah, on the pacer test. And like it's literally a non-stop. It's just a relay. Just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Ding.
I mean, the music, top tier.
Dude, honestly, the music, after you get past 80 in the pacer test, fucking slaps. It gets intense. Like, it makes you feel like an absolute badass just by walking. And I can only imagine what it does for the actual runner. Obviously, I've never been that far.
Yeah, no, the other thing that really sucks is when you have things like asthma. Because I know both you and I have asthma, which just made it worse.
Yeah, it's like when I got my 33, I ran until I saw stars.
Yeah, there was one year I was like, I'm just going to absolutely push myself. And this was in high school, so I was still fat. Because in middle school I was kind of skinny, but
never been skinny.
I just absolutely pushed myself to the point where I was coughing, and you get that asthma taste in your throat. I could see stars.
And then it's like burning.
I was about to
burning
fucking pass out.
It's like a burning on the top of your chest, and you get that like burnt taste in the back of your tongue.
And all that, and I got to like 60. So I pushed myself to the point of like I was gonna need to be in the fucking ER, and all I got was like a C+.
Yeah, make me feel like shit because I got 33 and it's all stars.
Well, you also have to imagine.
I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I didn't try, period.
Oh, you were one of the kids that just would walk away?
Oh, no. I'd make it look like I tried and then walk off. Because then they would still go, yeah, he participated, and write it down. Nah, fuck him. I was like, this is a stupid test anyway. I was like, I'm not going to pass, so I'm going to cheat.
See, honestly, I had kind of obviously being fat, a love-hate relationship with the Pacer test, because it is the only test I had every year that I could actually measure improvement. To like, I remember the first Pacer test I ever took in 3rd grade when they came out with it standard in the Davenport School District. I got a 4. And then in middle school, my second highest was 14. High school sophomore year was, I think, 22. And then junior year, I got 33. Just felt like an absolute fucking champ. Just to show my own.
Oh, yeah, no. Improvement's good.
That's like, that's the only reason I sort of like it. But then I'm sitting there, I'm like, yes, I sat there and went up to the coach. I'm like, dude, I got 10 more than I did the last time I took it. He's like, nice, here's your F.
God damn, brother. Yeah. It's fucking ass, dude.
No, dude, my last gym class, I had Coach Gill, and he was an absolute legend.
Here's your F.
No, he didn't. He's not the one that said that. He went. That was Crane that said the F, and Gill took my sheet and changed it to give me like 72, so I'd get an A.
Fuck yeah, Gil was a god tier.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I saw you out there trying. You got improvement, because he was my gym teacher for the year before. He's like, you got improvement. You showed tenacity. You showed improvement. I'm giving you an A. It's like, dude, Gil was a fucking legend.
Because I remember when I showed up late for Gil's class, because I had strength and conditioning first block. It was the first time I had it in first block. And I showed up late by like 2 minutes one day, and he was like, so why are you late? And obviously it was in the winter, so I told him I have to walk a mile to school on unshoveled sidewalks, getting doused by cars.
I have to walk a mile. I have to walk 10 miles back and forth from school uphill both ways.
Yeah, and he said, I had to walk to school 2 miles uphill both ways. I was like, how the fuck does that work? He's like, it doesn't, but I understand where you're coming from.
It doesn't, but fuck off.
And so he was like, I don't care now that I know that's how you get to school. He's like, you can just show up whatever.
Both ways.
See, I remember when he actually kept up on our robotics quite a bit. And it was when we came back from St. Louis, when we got back Sunday morning at like 3 a.m. And I was fucking dead. Took the next day off. Every teacher was pissed with me, except for Gil. I'm sitting there in the makeup course, like, to make up for a gym day where everyone else is doing free time. You go and like do a calisthenics or whatever. He said, what are you doing over here? I'm like, dude, I missed, because I also missed the 2 days from just being gone, and then I missed an extra day. He's like, oh no, I excuse you from that. I figured you'd just be tired. It's like, I didn't expect you here yesterday. I'm like, Gil, you're a legend.
Gil, you're a legend.
Because that was the day that was the week that I missed 2 days because I was so fucked from sleep. Because
I remember me and you got a reaming about it. Ooh, did you guys enjoy your day off? I'm like, yes, I did.
Yeah, no, because I looked at Smith. I was like, yeah, I fucking did. I really enjoyed it.
It's like, of course I did. You fucking asshole, wouldn't you?
To make things even worse, like we showed up at school. It was 3 a.m. on a Monday, and I went home and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take an hour power nap, and that was the mistake I made. Should have just showed up to school with nothing but caffeine in my system, because I slept for 14 fucking hours.
See,
and then
I went home and slept till about 10:30, and then just did fuck all.
Well, because then I woke up and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'll make it to school. And I went to bed early. I was like, you know what? I have to make sure that I'm going to wake up on time. No, I slept even fucking more. I think I went to bed at like 7 that night, and I woke up at 3 the next day.
I think the most I ever slept, like most people say high schoolers sleep the most. I slept about the least in high school and like middle school summers. Dude, I'd go to bed at like 4 a.m. and wake up about 7 o'clock that night. Like I would just hibernate.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That was me early pandemic. Because I had just quit robotics.
I was sitting there working full time.
Well, no, because I had just quit robotics, and like I was finally getting back to a normal sleep schedule because I absolutely cut sleep out just to support the robotics team, and I obviously got nothing back for it. So I was actually getting sleep. I was actually happy. I wasn't as depressed anymore. And as soon as the pandemic hit, I was like, fuck it, I'm sleeping in like as hard as I could. And it was good.
I think the most I ever slept in one day, I slept for about 22 hours.
Yep. Something like that. I don't even know why. I just did it. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I went to bed at like 9 o'clock the day before. Like, it was such a normal day. And
yeah, I was just out and I got up and I'm like, oh, how's everyone doing? Everyone's like, well, you slept through the whole day. I was like, what?
See,
nobody came and said anything, made sure I was alive.
I felt like total shit after I woke up. I felt like complete ass.
Yeah. I know there was one day I'd been up for 48 hours. God knows why. I think I was just watching like Minecraft videos at night and playing games. But I got home, I went to like just
drug.
No, I was watching like Skyda's Minecraft. The good old shit Minecraft YouTubers that everyone
what a throwback.
I haven't heard that name in years.
Buddy.
I never watched him. I always watched like Syndicate and shit and seen him.
I watched Syndicate and Yogscast mostly, but I watched him from time to time. But I had gotten home, sat down on the couch, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of relax for a bit. Passed out, woke up on the couch, and I saw it was dark out, but the only two people around me were my mom and my stepdad. And so I was like, oh shit, I must have fell asleep on the couch, and I thought it was like, 4 a.m. I was like, hey, we should surprise my sisters by getting like a Casey's breakfast pizza. And they dead ass looked at me and they're like, dude, it's midnight. It's like, fuck. I had slept. I can't even remember how long, but I was sitting there, I was like, bullshit. You mean I still have to go back to bed?
I still have to go back to bed? What the fuck?
God, no. Unlike you, though, Kane, I didn't sleep during the summers. Like, middle school summers, that was Borderlands 2 time. I got maybe 2 hours of sleep every day for the summer, and I just played Borderlands 2 the rest of it.
I would wake up, 6th grade, 7th grade, play Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2. Go to bed.
I'd wake up and like snort glue or something.
Sleep for about 13 hours. And then 8th grade year summer was the exact same thing, but placed Destiny instead.
Yeah.
Fucking nerd.
And Advanced Warfare. I did play quite a bit of Advanced Warfare too.
Borderlands 2 and Destiny. God,
and
I
there
miss
was always a
Destiny.
shitload of Minecraft spread in between. We used to do these things called currency worlds on the Xbox that I would always host because I always had the best internet.
Yeah.
And those are probably the most fun I had on Xbox 360. Was playing Minecraft with like 8 of us boys doing a economy world, and we'd be and now 8 people doesn't seem like a whole lot, but definitely back in the day that was a shitload of people. So we would have like 3 people running Xbox parties, so you could join different ones depending on where you were in the world. And we had one currency world that was all based off survival. And that currency world was around for like 9 months. And we had built entire cities and a full-fledged economy. It was awesome. I wish I still had my original 360 to like find that file.
Yeah, no,
Dude, that was awesome. That was some of the most fun I ever had, was playing those currency worlds with the boys.
You know, now that we're back in that kind of nostalgia talk right now, you know what we need to do? All of us need to get ourselves some 360s, some cheap-ass TVs, Modern Warfare 2 LAN party.
We could just do that with Xbox Ones.
Fuck, yeah, we can! Shit!
It's like, I have Modern
Get with the
Warfare 2 on
times,
the Xbox
Grandpa.
Look, just because I sometimes forget how to turn my own goddamn computer on doesn't mean I'm a grandpa.
See, I'd love to do it on original hardware, because I want to get a 360. I don't want a slim, though. I want an original 360.
Yeah.
With the silver tray. The white box with the silver tray.
It's that big ass fucking external hard drive that was like 30 gigabytes.
Hell yeah, brother.
There was 12 gigs, 32 gigs, 64, or the Xbox Elite came with a 128.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That was the big boy.
That was the time.
See, I keep looking for, I either want to get one of those, or I keep trying to find one on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, the Halo 3 Xbox 360.
Yes. That's one thing I miss now, is you don't really see them too often, but those like console exclusive
Consoles?
cases and stuff. Yeah. Or the exclusive consoles. Because like the Gears of War one, hell yeah.
See, I didn't like that one that much because it was the Slim. I just don't like the look of the Slim for some reason.
Yeah, for me it didn't matter which kind. I just liked Gears of War, so I was like, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, there's all of that.
Gears of War, man.
Yeah.
Dom.
360 was probably the best console of all time. PS3 was a damn good console because I had both, and both for quite a while in the console generation. But 360 just did the whole playing with friends better. Just having a party system with when PS3 didn't have one, just fucking floored it. And yeah, I make arguments.
Party mics.
What?
The Xbox party mics, dude.
Dude, the original Xbox chat headset was the best.
I've heard there's a way that you can modify a Discord chat to have that kind of effect, and I need to look into how to do that.
You just gotta
Probably can just go buy the fucking headsets that they used,
or just wipe the fuck out of the bit rate.
Yeah,
that's what I think it is.
It's like that's all it was just a super low bit rate.
Because I might just turn the general chat in our server to that.
See, if you want to hear it, go back and listen to like Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2 shit talk videos. That shitty fucking condensed thing. Oh my god, it was so funny. Black Ops for some reason didn't have it. It was very clear. It was just like the PS3. And then Modern Warfare 3 came out and had the old one. And then Black Ops 2 came out, and ever since then, it's been pretty smooth. I have an original Xbox 360 chat headset that they just re-released for the Xbox One. They just changed the jack size from a 2.5 inch to a 3.5 inch. That's the headset I use to talk to anyone on Xbox One.
Yeah, I always loved those. Because that was the reigning time of Turtle Beach.
Yeah, Turtle Beach. Oh my god, I was just thinking about that the other day, actually, of just how prevalent.
I still have mine.
I still have my. I went through, I think, a total of 8 Turtle Beach headsets because for some reason the left earphone always stopped. But I still have my most recent one because I used it on PS4 for a long time because my old Dynex TVs had hookups for it where new TVs don't. My X12s. You couldn't get the Ps because the Ps were for PlayStation. PX12s. My first ever Turtle Beach were PX21s, and they had so much bass to it that they would literally vibrate off your head.
God. Going back to the good old gamer headsets.
Yeah, but like, dude, you don't even like... Even those headsets today floor anything else. Like audio quality wise, like old school Tritons, dude. You remember Tritons?
Yes.
Dude, a Triton headset for like playing Call of Duty was so much better than anything you can buy now. The only ones I can't tell you is Astros because I've never been able to afford Astros.
Yeah.
There were Astros and Afterglow.
Afterglow wasn't like
It wasn't
Astro
very
quality.
good, but that was where every RGB nerd got their start.
look out.
I had my dad used to have an Afterglow headset when he got his first PC, his newest PC a long time ago. Obviously, this is 10 years ago. That was like all white and would glow, and there were always static colors. I bought when I pre-ordered Black Ops 2, my first game I ever pre-ordered. That day I had $10 extra, and Video Games Etc. was trying to get rid of these fucking controllers, and I bought an Afterglow PS3 controller, and that thing was fucking sweet. All it did was glow an extremely bright green, and it was clear. And if you didn't have the lights on, it would just blind you. But it was awesome because it glue.
Yeah. God.
And it's like, dude, you just don't see that shit anymore. Everything's so plain. Or it's ridiculously expensive because it's made by actual Microsoft or Sony.
Yeah. Because now if you want like good quality like gaming headsets, God, they're typically white and they have the like sailing. It looks like the Sydney Opera House.
Oh, Corsair.
Corsair, yeah.
Corsair's a really good company, but they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you want that good quality and that good feel, you're gonna have to buy expensive.
But it's also like literally every other company now. Like you have for audio at least basically your three options besides manufacturer, like Xbox or PlayStation. You have Astro, Corsair, or Razer. And like I'm using my Razer Krakens, my old ones, which are like you buy them for $60 and they're jack, they just plug in. But to get any of them that like even sort of compare to like the old school Turtle Beaches of like the 360 days, that would have chat sliders, bass sliders, game sliders. To have any of that, you're spending minimum of $300 for a wired headset.
Yeah.
I remember the commercials for when the Modern Warfare 3 Turtle Beach headsets came out. And it was like this fucking router thing that would sit there and connect to your TV in 360. And this thing could take phone calls. It could take, it could hook up to your music.
Dude,
on a
I
different
still have
speaker.
mine.
You had that?
Yeah, one of the little like boxes that you'd plug into your TV and shit.
Oh, no. I'm talking about like this thing had a full
Or are you talking about the one with the antenna?
It was the antenna. Like,
oh shit,
big thing.
No, I didn't have one of those.
I was like, dude, that thing was like $400. I remember saving up every penny I could for that one. I want to see if I can find it. Turtle Beach MW, because I remember it's for MW3 headset.
Yes,
wireless
dude.
Headset. Because I don't remember what they used to call Ear Force Pros. That's what they used to call them. Air Force Pros. That was always the Call of Duty themed ones. They always were called Air Force Pros. Yeah, here it is. I'm popping it in the chat of what this big fucker looked like. It was this massive wireless headset. And that,
I remember that fucking thing.
Would wirelessly charge it. Like, this is 2011 we're talking about.
God.
Oh, this thing was just a beast. I wanted one so bad. I still look for one every now and then.
See, the other nice
headsets.
The other nice thing about them too was they were comfortable.
Yes,
they had
headsets.
good material on your earmuffs and everything. They were comfortable. It was perfect for gaming because now you just don't get that.
No, honestly, my Razer headsets hurt after a while. Like it hurts. Like hurts my ears after a long time. Of using them.
See, I got into the habit, and it's a weird habit, but I'll take my my right headphone and I'll just place it behind my ear, so I only have the left one on my ear.
See, I do that, but then I'll like move wrong, and it'll just go flying off of my ear.
Yeah. Well, you need to get bigger ears like mine.
I do have big ass ears.
I'm like Dumbo though.
But yeah,
big
dude,
nose and big ears.
Like Turtle Beach is still around. Like they didn't go anywhere, but they're just nowhere near as popular. I don't know what happened to them because they never stopped making good products. Like you can still go get like I got my dad for Christmas. It was a $13 like one-piece Turtle Beach chat headset. And it works perfect. And it's a really good headset. I have no idea what happened to them. Like
it's just the generation. The new generation's more interested in things like Fortnite.
Like, dude, I remember the USB adapter coming out to convert your Turtle Beaches to work on PS4s and Xboxes because all TVs stopped using because the issue is those old school headsets needed to bias into your audio jacks, and all the new TVs don't have left channel, right channel, red and white audio jacks anymore. So they were just kind of screwed. So now they came out with like this adapter to where everything plugs into the digital audio, the digital optical cable, which most TVs have that. And if you don't have that on your TV, you got scammed.
You got scammed.
Because that means you can't even plug in like a sound bar or anything.
You see, I think I know why they're not as popular anymore. And it's because we're now in a generation where people don't talk as much trash online, or at least they're not as good at it. See, because back in the golden days of Call of Duty, you had to have the best mic so that the person on the other end of that fucking COD lobby could hear your shit. You needed the best gaming headsets to make sure they knew that they were a pussy. No response?
I was just letting that statement kind of sit in the air for a bit.
I wanted that one to sink a little bit.
Yeah.
Not enough trash talking now.
No, there's not. And there's a really different culture online entirely of...
It just goes straight to racism now.
That too, but also, like, people just aren't in game chat. And if they are, they're absolute pieces of shit. Like, that's what it comes down to. They're just pieces of fucking shit. And, like, because I remember multiple times back in the day, if you would just get on Call of Duty in your headset and you would sit there and talk to literally anyone, and yeah, you talk some shit, but you'd end up usually 9 times out of 10 coming away with like a friend or someone that like,
the way it happened.
You know, it's like, dude, you would sit there. I remember sitting there talking, and we would talk for hours and hours to these people and talk constant shit. I mean, overwhelming shit to each other. And then 9 times out of 10, when you were done talking shit to each other, you would sit there, you'd go to your home screen of your Xbox or your PlayStation, and you'd see the notification that you got a friend request from that person.
And you would accept it.
Yeah, you would accept it, and you'd play with that dude again. And then that's how you created a lifelong friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got some of my friends from Destiny raids. Because you'd go in there and you would just talk absolute dog shit to them. Like, bro, can't you fucking clear the goddamn ads? And
like, dude, I've been trying forever to find a good and proper headset that, like, could be like those old school 360 headsets of old school Turtle Beach. Like, I have my Razer, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, but I use it for my work computer, my wireless one. But it just isn't it. It just isn't the same.
yeah.
I remember, I want to do something where, because there was something, I don't remember what it was, but it might have been Turtle Beach, but one company had something to where you could buy, basically, like, for each system you had to spend a little bit more money to get it, but, like, after you bought the headset, you could buy multiple DACs, and as soon as you'd walk into a different room, you just plug into that DAC, and you swapped what you were listening to, like, easy, so you could use the same headset anywhere. go from the computer to the Xbox to the PlayStation, then back to the TV. That was just such a better time.
Plug and play gaming.
Someone make a time machine quick so I can go back to the good old days.
Somebody make a time machine.
Dude, if I could go back and still, like, if I could go back in time, be the same age I am now, and be able to make the same money I do, I would buy all this shit because it was just cheap back then, too. Like, I remember thinking it was so expensive. I mean, but also I was super young. But, like, even looking back, I remember my dad talking about how expensive it was. But, like, you know, it was basically between, it's like, okay, do you buy a $60 game or do you buy a freaking gaming headset? Or now it's like, do you pay rent or do you buy a headset?
Buy a headset.
Yeah, it's so expensive, and everything has to do. And my thing is, too, that I really liked about Turtle Beach is those old headsets. They just worked without question. Like, now with my new Razer headset, the wireless one, cannot plug into anything without it trying to install its software.
Yeah.
Like, everything has to come with its own fucking app all the time. And like Razer, I kind of understand, and they kind of get a pass because they've been doing it for years, at least for them, because Razer's all about the RGB, and the app is how you control the RGB on the headsets. So that I kind of sort of understand because they've been doing that for years, but otherwise I fucking hate it. I hate plugging in devices that just should work. That's just an audio device. And that's why I like having my actual desktop speakers, because I can just plug in a line to the speaker and it's just a pass through. And so the computer doesn't know any headset's plugged in. So it doesn't try to do any of this bullshit of installing software.
Yeah.
God, we sound like a bunch of 80-year-old men, but we're in our 20s.
Yeah, I was like,
the other nice thing was those headsets could withstand everything a gamer could throw at them.
Not me, because I sat on them. I accidentally sat on 3 of my headsets and completely snapped off the earphones.
Yeah.
That's why you'll never see me put a headset down exactly where I got up from anymore. You'll never see me put anything down exactly where I got up from, because I did that so much. Because a lot of people do. Like, when they get up from their chair, like playing the games, they quickly set the controller right where their ass was and go do whatever they need to do and come back. But I would forget that was there so much, especially because I used to have those half beanbag chairs that were super popular in 2010s. And it was all black, and I had the all black headset and all black 360 controller, so the fucker would just be camouflaged in there and just sit there and snap. Of course, the controller is fine, because if you broke a 360 controller, that's impressive.
Right.
Those things were absolute freaking units. Now, that was a quality ass product.
Those were. They still fucking are. Like,
oh, yeah.
All the controllers you find today are just garbage.
Xbox controllers aren't too bad. PlayStation controllers, honestly, could be a lot higher quality. Like, yeah, we're all talking about the same plastic, but for some reason, to me, like, I have my PS4 controller sitting right here that I got in 2017, and then I have my Xbox One controller that I got in 2013 with the original Xbox. And the buttons still feel snappier and everything than the PS4 controller. Like, it just feels like a little bit of a higher quality controller. The only difference is that the joysticks on the Xbox are a little worn, but the only reason you can notice that is because the Xbox do the like grippy joysticks on the sides, and when the controllers are this old, those are just fucking gone. Yeah, that's the only thing I really complain about newer controllers. Otherwise, they're about the same. But, like, the freaking 360 controller could literally kill a baby. Like, and the baby would just be perished.
The other thing was...
Perish the child.
The 360 controllers especially were not only comfortable to hold, but really comfortable to throw. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that hand down
That
on the
tomahawk
end of it.
grip.
And yeah, it was perfect.
The only thing that I go back now
Ugh.
and I notice with the 360 controller is that now my fingers kind of cramp up a little bit with the battery pack being there.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've gotten so used to not having anything there that like it just feels super cramped to have that battery pack there now. That's the only big thing I noticed with the 360 controller is that it feel like my fingers cramp up sitting there next to the battery pack. But like when I use a controller on my PC, which is quite a bit, I use a 360 controller. It's a wired 360 controller.
The way to do it.
I was like, I'm going to use that thing until the day it fucking dies. And it's getting
Which might be never.
And actually, it's getting there. The wire's getting really, really bad.
And that was always the thing. It was the wires.
Yeah, it was the wire. It's not the controller itself. It's the wire. Actually, it's like there's a break in there somewhere, and I found an exact spot where we can make contact, and super glued that to the back of the controller, so it's always in that spot. So you can only unwrap it, and it stays half wrapped to a point because that's where it has to hold to stay on. It has been like that for 3 years, and it's worked phenomenally. From being dropped from fucking my vacuum, grabbing the cord and dragging it across the floor.
The vacuums.
Yeah.
Vacuums and cables are just one of those things.
Especially, like, to point out, I have a Roomba. Like, this isn't just me with a fucking, like, Swiffer vacuum.
Swiffer.
or Dyson, whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm not racist against vacuum.
Vacuum racist? Of course you are.
But
I had a friend once that tried to tell me that vacuum was spelled with O's.
Vacuum?
Yeah.
Vacuum.
Who the fuck was that renob? Jesse?
No.
That's
Actually,
fucked.
I don't know if you'd know him, but I think Chris knows him. Do you remember John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but John was also like the kind of guy where it was like, even when he realized he was wrong, he would refuse to admit it.
He was.
To argue with
He'd
you.
I think he
fight
still
that
is.
tooth and nail until the end.
See, I remember freshman year, going into health class, and for some reason, I never had the revelation because that Shia LaBeouf was in Transformers, because that was when the "do it, just do it" meme was going around, and so Shia LaBeouf to me was just that dude with the fucking mustache and beard.
Right.
And so it never clicked in my head because obviously
That
like
Sam
the first
Witwicky was-
the first Transformers came out in 2007, something like that. So I was super young, and I remember in health class we were sitting there. He's like, "Yeah, he was in Transformers." I'm like, "No, he wasn't." Like, "Yeah, he was." I'm like, "Dude, there's no way he was. That's no way. That's the same person. This guy looks so different, totally different." And we're going on, and then the fucking teacher, Mr. Fox, goes, "Yeah, I knew some guy that would blatantly argue that, you know, he was right, even though he was obviously wrong." I'm like, "Dude, you haven't shown me that I'm wrong." I'm like, "Dude, I don't think he is." And then finally someone walked up to his computer and Googled it and showed me. I'm like, "Oh, okay. So he was in Transformers. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's all we needed. You didn't have to like be a dick about it. Like, dude, the only it's
Being
like
a dick about it's so much fun.
It's like no, but he wasn't being a dick about it to be fun. He was just being a dick because he is a
just
dick.
being a dick.
Yeah, no, he's just naturally a dick. So, like, he's just not a very fun, nice person. But,
Right.
like, dude, it's like walking up to someone when you're an AP calculus professor and telling them some wicked long equation that you know the answer to, and they have no idea, and sitting there going like, "Yeah, I remember when I know a guy that was just like you that would sit there and argue with me even though he was wrong." It's like, no shit, I'm fucking wrong. I don't know the material. If you show me the material and show me how you're right, I will happily fucking agree with you.
See, I was the absolute worst when I met those people that were the ones that would sit there and absolutely just fucking refuse. Because if I proved it, I would get in their fucking face. I was a living, breathing fucking COD lobby.
Oh,
I was a living, breathing menace to society.
Once we're done with the podcast here, I'll tell you about how I got one brewing. It's just like that.
Oh no!
But we are in an hour, so unless you guys have any other last minute comments, we're a little bit over an hour here.
My last minute comment is don't do drugs, kids.
What?
Fucking
no.
pussies.
Encourage it.
Wait a
Take
minute.
the third vitamin. The Flintstones need you.
Flintstones needs
The
you.
Flintstones need your mother's credit card number and the 3 wacky.
Fred Flintstone needs your help. He has child support due.
Fucking
Oh,
Fred
Lord.
Flintstone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Descent into Madness podcast. Hope you all enjoyed, and make sure you tune in for the next one.
Yeah, where there may or may not be a fun cheese fact. Dun dun dun. I'm just kidding. There's always going to be a fun cheese fact.
Such a
cheese
fucking
is, cheese is
threat.
cheese is too fucking fun.